Hello, my name is Tylia Murdaugh, and this is my video reflection. One of the most striking parts of Lauren's experience is how many different factors quietly built up before the actual crisis point. She describes increased work stress, frequent travel, disrupted sleep, relationship conflict, parenting demands, seasonal changes, and a gradual dip in mood and motivation, all happening in the background as she slowly stopped taking her medications and developed delusional beliefs about them being poisonous or used for mind control. Hearing how ordinary life stressors combined with mixed medications led to a serious psychotic episode really highlights how important it is to pay attention to early warning signs like sleep changes, reduced motivation, or growing mistrust of treatment. It also stands out how long she remained in an ER setting that felt more like a holding cell than a therapeutic space, and how limited the discharge planning was despite the severity of what she went through. Hearing Lauren and Rob's experiences about hospitalization, police involvement, and the ER brought up a mix of empathy and discomfort. On one hand, Lauren's description of being terrified, paranoid, unsure of who to trust, and then encountering both compassionate and aggressive responses from the police really underlines how vulnerable people are in acute psychosis. Her story shows how a single, empathetic officer who knew her and spoke gently made an enormous difference in building trust, whereas a more forceful, controlling approach escalated her fear. On the hospital side, learning how Rob and her friends had to advocate for her, fill in the gaps in her memory, and support her through an environment that often felt cold and custodial reminds you how central family and peers are to recovery. It is powerful and sobering to hear that even when the system is doing the right thing on paper, bringing her in under mental health law, starting medication, and providing a bed, it can still feel traumatizing or dehumanizing if not grounded in consistent respect and communication. As a future mental health technician, several concrete lessons emerge from this video that you can carry into your practice. First, it reinforces the importance of noticing early warning signs and taking them seriously. Changes in sleep, escalating stress, quiet withdrawal, shifts in thinking about medication, and seasonal patterns can all be indicators that someone is heading towards decompensation. Second, Lauren's experience in the ER and on the inpatient unit emphasizes how critical it is for frontline staff to reduce power struggles, communicate clearly, and approach patients with calm, empathy, and collaboration rather than control or confrontation wherever safety allows. Small choices, how you enter a room, your tone of voice, whether you explain what is happening, whether you treat a patient as an active partner, even when they are under a legal form, can shape whether the experience feels traumatizing or supportive. Third, her story underlines the value of recognizing and involving natural supports, checking in with family or partners, encouraging them to advocate appropriately, and validating their role can help bridge the gaps when the system cannot provide enough therapy, social work, or peer support. Finally, her message about reducing stigma and affirming that there is no shame in hospitalization is something you can model in everyday practice. By using non-judgmental language, treating hospitalization as a step in recovery rather than a failure, and encouraging early help seeking, you contribute to a culture where patients feel safer reaching out before they reach a crisis point. Thank you.